Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Goddess Gemini Gifts. Today's podcast episode is going to be a Gemini reading using these lovely, astrology type cards. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. Please remember that all readings are for entertainment purposes only. They may or may not resonate, and as always, I ask you to only take what does and leave the rest for another person to claim. Okay. Hello, Geminis. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're hearing me on an audio platform, please consider following because that would be fabulous. I would greatly appreciate it as always. I always appreciate your time, Gemini, or anybody who's listening. This podcast is not just for Geminis. You could have Gemini placements, or this may just resonate with you, okay? So, with that being said, we are going to cleanse the cards, the energy, and the space. And yes, I'm very just having a great day here. I hope you are too. And getting these podcasts done for this month. I know it's a little bit delayed. Normally it's one a week, but currently I'm just getting at least trying to get 4 episodes out this month. And hopefully we'll see what else we can do here. But yeah, each month I'm going to at least try to get 4 episodes out. It may not be on one a week. It may be near the end of the month. I am trying my best here. I am very busy, but I really want to make sure that I have those podcast episodes out for everybody. All right. I am trying my best here. If you see my YouTube channel at Goddess Gemini Gifts, yes, it is self-titled, the same as the podcast. You would be able to notice that I have started doing more readings on YouTube. So I'm a little bit busier than normal. And then in my personal life, I'm also busy. So we're going to cleanse the cards, the energy, and the space here. Cleanse the cards, the energy, and the space here. Cleanse the cards, the energy, and the space. Cleanse my energy in the space. Spirit guide, guardian angels, ancestors. I ask for you to join me today in this reading for our Gemini friends. We're just using these astrology cards to kind of see what kind of messages we can get for them. So Gemini, what does Gemini need to know? What does Gemini need to see? What does Gemini need to hear? What is in Gemini's current energy? Okay. Let's find out what Gemini's current energy is. What stands for Gemini's current energy, please? What stands for our Gemini friends' current energy? Okay, so Gemini, you have the 8th house in reverse, endings and beginnings. Pisces, I believe, in reverse. And then you have lunar eclipse change. All right, so let's go into what is your current conflict, Gemini? Okay. And what is let's see here. What is the negatives affecting your situation currently? What are the positives affecting the situation currently? Is something we want to know here. And then it will be, what is the neutrals next here? Okay, neutrals. And then we're going to go into what is the thoughts about, what are your current thoughts, Gemini? Okay. What are the thoughts for you this time being? All right. And then what are your feelings? All right. And then we'll go into the unknown here. Okay. Next is unknown. And then we will have the solution, advice, possible outcome next, okay? So solution, advice, possible outcome. What is the solution, advice, possible outcome for Geminis, please? What is the solution, advice, possible outcome for our Gemini friends today? All right, we have here those. All right, so Gemini, let's get into this reading here. This is definitely a little different than what I'm used to for cards, but I decided let's try something a little different. So let's see. So Gemini, with the 8th house in reverse, endings and beginnings, I do see some things may be ending and beginning, but some things is a little bit of stagnancy right now, you may feel. With the I believe in reverse, some of you may not quite believe in yourself too much right now. Okay, and then the lunar eclipse shows change. So there are changes happening. They just might not be as quick as you'd like them to be. Okay. If you have the Pisces in the eighth house placement, there might be something in that message for you. Some of you may be a little bit hesitant of your endings and beginnings, especially if you have that placement. And then if you have Pisces and a moon, there might be a real great change that you see happening very soon. Okay, so let's see, what is your conflict currently? You have Neptune, sacrifice, Gemini, I think, and Scorpio, I transform. Okay, so Gemini, what you have here is you know that there's sacrifices that will have to be made, and it's a little bit of confliction for you. I think is obviously you may be thinking too much or over analyzing situations. And then with the Scorpio is you need to transform. Okay, it may be a little bit conflicting, but everybody's got to transform, right? So if you have Gemini or Scorpio in your Neptune, there may be something in that message for you as well. All right. So what are the negatives affecting the situation? South Node, life's debt. Okay, solar eclipse, revolution, and Mars in reverse, and that's force. Okay, so negative, South Node, life's debt. Some of you may still be in the South Node type of energy, and it is telling you to kind of get out of that energy and lead more in towards your North Node. Solar eclipse, revolution. Some of you may be having or working on revolutions right now, and that may be causing a little bit of internal turmoil, if you get what I'm saying. And then the Mars in reverse is force. So some of you may not really be using force, or some of you may even be lacking in the creativity department, even. Could be causing some like blockages for you, and that may feel negative. So what is the positives in the situation? You have Taurus, I have Leo, I will in reverse, and then the part of fortune, increase in reverse. Okay, so the positives in the situation is you technically know you have everything you need with that Taurus. Okay, Leo in reverse, I will. Some of you, I'm hearing like ADHD kind of concepts. So some of you, obviously there's stuff that you want to do and that you will, but it might be taking more time than you expected. Okay, and then that part of fortune, increase, because things may take time, you may not see the financial increases that you desire or you may feel that you need, right? But you're understanding that things take time. Okay, if you have a Leo in your part of fortune placement, there may be something to help you understand how to increase your money. Sometimes part of fortune can give you a little bit of insight on what you can do for money wise, right? I have in Taurus, if you have that in the part of fortune too, there may be something in there. But if you have Leo in part of fortune, I definitely see you being a little out of balance for something. Okay, so what is the neutrals here? Okay, what is the neutrals? What is the neutrals here? Okay, I'm just checking the cards here. Sorry, I just need to make sure that that is good. That is energy, energy, conflict, negative, positive, neutral. Okay, that energy, conflict, negative, positive, neutral. Okay, I'm just checking, making sure I put the cards down correctly. Okay, your neutrals is the ninth house in faith. The Jupiter return, benefits in reverse. Okay. And then the Aquarius, I know. So your neutrals is you having faith on the situations. You may be lacking a little bit of benefits right now, or feeling a lack of benefits. Not quite sure what is going to benefit you, maybe a little bit of uncertainty. And then the Aquarius is I know. So you do know that things will get better. Okay. If you have Aquarius in your ninth house, there may be some information, as well as in your Jupiter placements, even though that's Jupiter returns. For some of you, I could also see a Jupiter in kind of like retrograde. That's where you may find more like a benefits of everything you're working on, right? I don't know where Jupiter's sitting right now, if it's in retrograde or if it's in a return, but I do see some of you, if it is in a retrograde, not the return, you may actually start seeing some benefits of the things that happen. I'm actually very curious on that, and that's something I will look up later. But anyways, all right. So What are the thoughts in your current situation, Gemini? You got Grand Trine blessings, Yod, destiny, and then you have Jupiter in reverse, abundance. Okay. So your thoughts are, you understand you have blessings. There is definitely something many of you are destined to create. Okay. And then the Jupiter return is you may be lacking the abundance or feeling abundance, but we have to remember that abundance isn't just about finances, it's about the quality of life around you. You don't need things to be happy, but you do need your basic necessities like food, water, shelter, right? That kind of stuff for you to actually have some kind of abundance. So even though you may not feel as abundant as other people you may see on social media, just remember that social media does not tell you the whole story. All right. So next we have feelings, and that is moon, soul. Okay. That is Pluto in reverse, transformation. Then we have the second house, owning. Okay. So for feelings, many of you, soul, obviously, moon. Some of you may be feeling emotions very deeply. Okay. With the Pluto in reverse, it's a little bit of hesitancy on transformation of stuff. Now, I'm not saying you won't transform. I just see for some of you, your feelings currently need to sit in your feelings for some things, right? In order for you to have that transformation, kind of understand your feelings. Okay. But the second house is owning. I do see this as not just like financial kind of owning. I see this as owning yourself and owning that transformation that you want, right? I heard therapy. So let's say some of you want to go to therapy or something. That is owning that concept of, I want to go to therapy. I will go to a therapy and I will learn on from like therapy what I can do. So that's just an example. That's not going to be for everybody, but that will be for somebody. Okay. What is the unknown for you, Gemini? You have Earth element in reverse, stability. Okay. You have Venus, love. And then you have the 11th house, friends in reverse. Okay. So Earth element, stability, reverse. So definitely a little bit of lack of stability around you. Okay. The Venus, there is lots of love. And it's also, I'm feeling self-love. And a lot of you may feeling like a lack of self-love because you may not be stable in ways that you want to be. So let's say you're not as financially stable. You may be kind of like it might be affecting that, right? And then you have 11th house in reverse, friends. So for some of you also may be having, this instability may not just be like in your self-love area, it might also be in your like friend groups, family, friends, whatever. Okay. um just so you know. Okay. And then we have this your possible outcome. You have the sun spirit in reverse, the 10th house, the world, and then the air element, communication. So what I'm seeing here for you is the sun in reverse. Okay. So spirit, so some of you maybe getting through, and then you may need to work on spirit. Once you hit stability, maybe you have to work on spirit, right? Because that's all connected: mind, body, heart, soul, spirit. The 10th house is the world. So I do see many of you seeing everything kind of like connected as the world. And the air element is communication. Okay. So being able to communicate clearly what you want. So if you have air element in the 10th house or the sun, obviously that would resonate maybe. The 11th house, earth elements in the 11th house are Venus. There may be a message in there for you. And then if you have second house, Pluto, moon, there's nothing really there. So I don't know if there's really any messages for you there. Maybe in your Pluto, but there's no specific placement. Okay. There's nothing really here because that's Grand Trine and blessings. And I believe, yes, I already stated those. I just wanted to go back and make sure. Maybe something in the 9th house as well, but that really just depends. Honestly, I always encourage people to check their birth chart because sometimes there's stuff in there that may help us. Like, oh, you could be really good at this type of career, or you may be really good at this or this or this, if that makes sense. Okay. So Gemini, I hope this makes sense in some way, shape, or form. If it resonated, great. If it doesn't, please throw it away for another person to claim. And leave a comment if you're here on YouTube and let me know what you thought of the reading. And that's all I really have for you. I do appreciate your time as always, and I hope you have a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I appreciate you as always. And goodbye.